Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Bob Wahl Show. On the Bob Wahl Show, we talk business, St. Louis, and real estate. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us on the Bob Wahl Show. Today, I'm excited. We are speaking with Jeremy Hodess from Capstone Franchise Consulting.
That's right.
Before we get started, though, I did want to mention I started a new private closed Facebook group called St. Louis Hidden Gems. The group's all about introducing everyone to different companies throughout the area, maybe companies you haven't known about. I'm going to start experimenting. If there's a company I've been meaning to go to or a restaurant, I'm going to start taking a chance on it. And if it's good, I'm going to let you know. If it's not so good, I'm going to be polite about it. But I'm going to, mention my thoughts on it. And I invite you guys to join me on the group as well. And if there's anything that I would like you guys to review some things too. So if you want to mention your favorite places and start experimenting and documenting it on the page, that'd be outstanding. So anyway, sorry, Jeremy, I wanted to plug that and get that out of the way.
No problem.
So you're with Capstone Franchise Consulting.
That's right.
I guess before we jump too far into it, I guess we'll just have you tell a little bit about yourself. I know you live here in St. Louis. I'll just have you mention anything you'd like people to know about you personally.
Yeah. No, that's great. Thank you. I live here in St. Louis. I've been in St. Louis since 1998. I'm a native of Philadelphia, but I've been here for almost 20 years.
Okay.
I'm married 10 years and have a little boy who's 7 going on 27. So.
I have a 3-nager, so they always seem to be a little bit older than they are.
Yeah.
Well, great. Well, I'll have you talk a little about your company. Seems very interesting. I'll have you talk a little bit about Capstone Franchise Consulting.
Yes.
So.
Thanks, Bob. So I'm the founder and owner of Capstone Franchise Consulting. Mm-hmm. We're a full-service franchise brokerage firm. And what we do is we help people identify, research, invest, and succeed in franchising. What we do is we help the entrepreneur find the franchise that's a best match for their goals, their skills, their budget, and then wrap the resources around them through our strategic partnerships to help them succeed in their business.
That's great. Now, I've looked into franchises in the past, just nothing too serious, but I've done it on my own a little bit here and there. I researched a few real estate franchises back in the day, just to be educated. I definitely see the value of having someone that specializes in franchise purchasing to help you along the way. I'll have you talk a little bit about how the process works from the time that someone contacts you about looking into a possible franchise.
Mm-hmm. Sure, that's great. Yeah, we follow we try to follow a simple, straightforward 6-step process. Mm-hmm. And so where it starts is it's really an interview that allows me to get to know the entrepreneur. Where are they coming from? I want to know what their skills are, what their background is, and we might not look for franchises that are really in the same industry that they're accustomed to, and that's fine. Some people want to stay close to their professional experience. Mm-hmm. If they've always been in financial services, they're interested in finding franchises that are in the financial arena. And some folks are very clear, they're looking to break away. Okay. They've always done something for 30 years and they want to break away. And even if we're looking for a different industry, I know they're bringing 30 years of experience to the table. They've got a certain skill set that's going to really be a best match for certain business models, regardless of what the industry is. And so I want to get to know somebody, get to know where they're coming from, what they're really good at, what they enjoy doing professionally.
Right.
Because I'm going to use that information to match them up with business models that really prime them for success. And of course, I need to know what their budget is.
Right.
Investments are all over the board. It costs a couple of $1 million to get into a McDonald's franchise. Not everybody's got that kind of money.
Right.
But I work with franchises, investments as low as $25,000. And so I need to know what somebody's investment range is, and then I can help target businesses that are a good match for them.
Yeah, for sure. So. And it's definitely important to like what you do or even have a passion for it, because business can be tough.
Yeah, absolutely.
But when you have that passion for it, it definitely helps. So.
For sure.
Now, what What types of franchises have you worked with the most, or any that are more common than others that you've worked with?
I really pride myself on customizing my recommendations for the person I'm working with. So I don't have, this one franchise that I've worked with the most, or even a small group, because I really believe each person is different, and I try to find that business or those business options that are best for an individual. That said, I'll say, some trends that I see in the industry is there's definitely been a lot of growth in really any business that I would say touches or serves the senior community. Probably everybody who watches the news is aware of the baby boomer generation and this huge portion of our society that is either in retirement or going to be in retirement, and they need a wide range of services, and will continue to for decades to come. So a really popular option is senior care franchises, where people provide home health services to folks. But there are lots of ways to serve that market that may not have anything to do with healthcare.
Right.
And there are just demographic trends that make that market very attractive for, like I said, years to come.
Okay. Now, what fees are involved when people are going through the process and utilizing your services?
Sure. That's a great question. The franchise seeker, the entrepreneur, does not pay any fees to me.
Okay.
The way my business works is franchisors rely on folks like myself, franchise coaches and brokers, to help identify folks who are good matches for their system and who are qualified to really succeed in their system. So I help someone through the process. I help them with their due diligence, and I introduce them to my strategic partners that can help them succeed, but they don't pay me those fees. What happens is when they make the investment, then I'm paid a fee, or success fee, or a referral fee by the franchisor, and so that's who pays my fees. So my services don't come at any cost to the entrepreneur. Now, some of my strategic partners, certainly there are fees. I network with some fantastic business bankers, franchise attorneys, business coaches who can really wrap around the entire process and make sure that the person gets off to a quick start and a successful start.
Okay.
So.
No, that's great. So it doesn't sound like anyone looking to purchase a franchise, they're not going to pay more for the franchise because they're using you. The company understands your service and kind of handles that on their end.
Exactly.
Just because they see the value in having people bring them business and good potential candidates.
Precisely.
So,
they're never going to pay more for working with me. The fees will always be exactly the same.
Okay. And we've probably kind of touched on this through several other questions we covered, but benefits of working with Capstone and as opposed to someone just looking to do it on their own.
I think the biggest benefit is, well, I would say there are a couple. Yeah. One is I'm gonna help you through the entire process of due diligence. I coach someone throughout their research, and I provide tools so that they can ask the right questions and gather the right information so that they're making a highly informed decision. These are big investments. This can be scary. Right. And so you need to make sure you have all the information you need to make a really good decision, and that you have the support you need to make a good decision. So I provide coaching throughout that process. The other key way I like to help my candidates is through my strategic partners. I have vetted folks in the community here in St. Louis and nationally who can help these entrepreneurs be successful. So I've vetted these professionals. The person doesn't need to go hunt down, well, who's the best banker, or who are the best bankers for me to talk to get funding. I have that covered. I can get you a list of referrals, and I know these folks will help you through the process and help you plan. they might need a consultant, a business consultant, to help them analyze their options and help create their business plan or create their pro forma. I've got resources like that. Franchise attorneys to review the contracts. I've got resources like that. So all they need to do is ask me, and even if they don't ask, I'm gonna, when we're at the appropriate stage of the process, is hey, I've got some wonderful folks. I'd really like to just give you their names. If you don't want to use these resources, doesn't hurt my feelings, but I want to make sure you know I've got these resources for you. So
Well, great. Well, appreciate you coming on the show. Really good information, very interesting and fun. I mean, it may not be fun for some people. To me, I'm entrepreneurial, so I find it interesting.
Sure.
So,
Thank you.
But how can people reach you online if they're interested in connecting with you and maybe asking you some questions?
Yeah, that'd be great. So they can find me on LinkedIn. They can find me on Facebook. My website is www.capstonefran. That's FRAN, like short for franchise.com. And my phone number is 314-974-5524. Any of those ways are great to connect with me, and I'd love to talk with someone. I love to talk about franchising, and so even if it's just to have a conversation, that's great too.
Great. All right. Well, thank you very much. Well, that concludes this week's episode of the Bob Wahl Show. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Goodbye for now. I will see you guys next week.